Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Hey, welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Put on Raiders podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. POR. SPR is my Twitter handle, so check me out there. And then also go to Instagram, Put on Waivers _podcast. That's Put on Waivers _podcast. So check me out over there as well. The Raiders getting ready for their preseason game against the Seahawks, but I did want to talk about some off the wall stuff real quick. AP into Antonio Pierce looked very comfortable in some Kansas City Chiefs gear, and I thought, and that gave every day there's something for the Raiders fans to talk about. So that gave Raider fans a little bit of juice to talk about, like him being kind of a fraud as far as the Raiders and everything like that. So stuff that he kind of dove into, and he dove into the where he was from and everything like that as well too. I'm not sitting here saying that he shouldn't go and go work. Obviously we know he has been chronicled that he does have possibly some issues as far as money, as far as the Nissan whole settlement and everything like that. So for the time where he was we're working in the car industry. But it just rings hollow of what last year was. I mean, last year was guys sitting here and pandering and saying all these things, and people are fighting on Twitter, and I know people who've lost friendships for the Raider friendships for a long period of time. They have been friends for a long period of time, and they lost friendships over something as silly as Antonio Pierce. I mean, so something as weird and as silly as Antonio Pierce. Some people think that Antonio Pierce got railroaded, that he did that he didn't do anything. He didn't do what he was supposed to do as far as a not he was supposed to. He wasn't given a great opportunity because they didn't go get him a quarterback. All those other things. He got a job that he wasn't qualified for, and he took it to another level of really poor coaching. I mean, responding to the whole thing with Devontae Adams, like it was a mess. It was an absolute mess when he got there and how he got that job. And now it's over, and now he's a Chief, and this isn't Marcus Allen going to the Chiefs. Marcus Allen going to the Chiefs was justified. We all know Mr. Davis. We love Al Davis, but Al Davis and his whole feud with Marcus Allen was kind of silly, and it just made no sense, that whole thing. And him going to Kansas City and doing what he did for the end of his career was fine. We all knew what it was. We all knew that he should have been. And we well know he should have been a Raider for his life. But Mr. Davis had other plans. So with that being said, he's trying to resurrect his career. He's trying to get to work with Spagnuolo. So some of his best moments in his career came from working with Spagnuolo. So there's a relationship there. And while I don't expect him to be home, mowing the lawn, and not working, he does what most people do. They when they're out of work, they use a relationship they have with somebody to work with that person. So now him being there, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to make a huge deal about it. For him, if he ends up getting to be a coordinator down the road, and working in the league then that's good for him. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was a debacle, and he was an embarrassment to the profession of coaching. Like, he was really that bad. So I don't think people understand. People who are pining for him, I don't think people understand how bad Antonio Pierce was as a NFL football coach. So the Raiders traded with the Eagles. They traded the Corian Bennett. And I know people are people are on different sides of this whole thing and saying all these different things about what should have been done was what why would the Raiders make this trade? For me, it's along the lines of the reason why I would not have made this trade. And there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't make this trade. One, I don't know who called who, but I don't like trading with Howie Roseman. Absolutely, I just don't want to. I just don't want to trade with Howie Roseman. It just doesn't look. It doesn't look good for you for me to trade with that dude. That dude's a boss. He's the best general manager in football. That phone call coming from that area code would have scared the hell out of me, and I'd have been like, "Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. Whatever they want, I don't want it." So a couple of things the Raider fans should not do is should not blow smoke up other Raiders behind other Raider fans behinds to make it seem like they got Reggie White in return. Okay, they did not get Reggie White in return. Thomas Booker is a backup, undersized, um, defensive tackle. Jacorian Bennett is is a is a young corner who has upside, who has time on his rookie deal, and he has some starting experience, right? He has some starting experience, and good for the Eagles to try to get more depth in their secondary. Like the Eagles are always trying to play chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I think for the Raiders, and let's just go to the Raiders depth chart at corner. You just trade away the guy who has the most snaps at corner for you. You know what I mean? Darian Porter is a rookie, looking good so far in training camp from what everything you hear, but looking good. I mean, he's not. But he's a rookie. Eric Stokes, we have to go through his career, like how hurt he is always is, and then you have Darby Holmes at nickel, and we'll see if Greedy Vance fight on can actually unseat him there. But you notice a pattern here with the Raiders. No matter what the team is, no matter what the regime is, they're always get to week 10, week 9, and they're looking up and they're looking up what corners can come play for them. They're playing corners off the street because their secondary falls apart. And I understand the height requirements. I understand, he's very specific on what he likes at certain positions. I totally get it. But it's year one. Sometimes you just need freaking bodies. And if Eric Stokes gets hurt, we're starting Sam Webb or JT Woods or the Camion Richardson or John Humphrey. Like you already lost he's not a corner, but he's a safety, Lonnie Johnson. So these guys also play special teams. So it's just to me, it's just weird and crazy for it's weird and crazy for me to get rid of possible quality depth for a backup undersized tackle who I guess they're probably using him on third downs to go get the quarterback and things like that, whatever. But he played 8 snaps a game. And he's a free agent next year. And I get it. You had to because of the kissing in the locker room, you have to go ahead and get rid of Christian Wilkins. But like he's arguing. I mean, you could make an argument that a clear argument that Bennett, Jaquarian Bennett, was your best corner. Just forget about the size or just covering wide receivers one on one. He was one of your best guys, and you just let him go because of what? Because of what? Because he's not, 6'5". You know what I mean, 6'4", 6'3", whatever. He doesn't have the arm length that you like. I mean, this is where you just gotta be careful. And I understand they're gonna play a certain defense, and he has a track record. But the Legion of Boom was a long time ago, and I'll say, I mean, listen, me saying something bad about Coach Carroll is just like it feels weird because I love Coach Carroll, the USC days, no question about it. But it's been a while since his teams have been good defensively. People don't want to hear that in Rare Nation, but it's been a while since his teams have been good defensively. And if you look up the makeup of this Raider team right now, currently, like let's be real, like Max and is kind of on his own again. And that's gonna be tough sledding for the Raiders. Maybe they'll play this cover three, whatever defense they got going on, five man front, whatever, and they'll be able to do their thing. But it's really tough. So it's gonna be really tough for them to keep these teams down. And when you look at the quarterbacks just in our division and the quarterbacks in the AFC, especially. So we'll talk about so you can see that as well. So just saying, enjoyed the game tonight. And that's pretty much it. But I said the trade for him, and more I think about it was since you have no proven guys. I mean, no proven guys, and even Jaquarian Bennett is not proven. But like you got no proven guys, and you're getting rid of the guy who had the most had the most snaps, had the most gameplay in these games. They had got the most quality snaps in these games. Like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. All right, Ray Nation. See you next time. Enjoy the game.